Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Sync Sports Bets here, and in today's video I got 4 player props for the Week 9 Thursday Night Football game. It is the New York Jets versus the Houston Texans. Should be a really good one. The Jets currently are on a 4-game losing streak with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback, and the Texans are 6-2. Just lost a wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, for the season, so they're very banged up. Also, Nico Collins is likely to be out. I think he's already been officially out for this game. And so they're very depleted. They're going to have to lean a lot on Tank Dell, lots on Joe Mixon, especially. So we're going to lean on heavily on Mixon and heavily on the kicker. I think the wide receivers, I think Tank Dell could easily get the job done, but we're not going to take him today just because you never know. I mean, he hasn't really been hitting his line, even with Stephon Diggs out last game for a majority of the game. Tank Dell had pretty good receiving yards, but you just never know. I think Schultz is also a good pick. But anyway, before we get into the 4 picks for today, let's go to the NFL spreadsheet for last Sunday's picks. We had 4 picks. Unfortunately, did not cash out. We got very unlucky with these picks. So Drake May to start out. He was a reboot pick. He got a concussion in the first quarter, had 23 passing yards. So definitely his fantasy score was the move because he had a rushing touchdown, about 40 rushing yards, and only 23 in the first quarter. And he got a concussion, so he's out the whole game, and that was a reboot. Rico Dowdle did not play at all the entire game. He was a DNP before the game started. So the slip went down to a 2-man. And I was like, wow, this is tough. Like, video picks, this is the worst thing that can happen. Putting out these picks, people wait all week for them, and only 2 of them they can actually take. So it's just a bummer, you know what I mean? So anyway, David Montgomery did cash. We got kind of lucky here. He threw for a touchdown, which is never happening with David Montgomery, but it did this week just because they scored over 50 points. So they had some trick plays up their sleeve for fun. He had a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, only 33 yards on the ground, and 5 receiving. So he only had about 15 fantasy score, but it did enough to get the job done. And then DeAndre Swift, I'm pretty sure he had 0 targets the entire game. He's hit every single week besides week 1 and has cashed this pretty easily. If he just at least got the ball, he was open all game. I was waiting for Caleb Williams. I was like, okay, it's halftime. He's going to get the ball. Like, they're going to throw it to him. Why would they not? But no, I guess that's just wasn't in the scheme. I don't know. Caleb Williams was just having such a bad game. Only threw for like barely under 140 passing yards. So just an atrocious game from the Bears offense for a majority of the game. DeAndre Swift's rushing is the move. He has been consistently hitting that. So both lines he's been consistently hitting. But unfortunately, it went the other way with his rushing. So very just unfortunate there. But basically went 1 out of 2 for these picks. But we're going to bounce back. We got 4 picks for the Thursday Night Football game. It is only 1 game slate. So if you guys want to risk it, you could definitely take all 4 picks. Or you guys can mix and mingle, do 2 and then 2 on the other slip. Whatever you guys feel confident in looking at these stats, take what you like. But first pick of the day, we're going to go Joe Mixon. Of course, we have to go with this guy. He's going to get the ball literally the entire game. And so we want to be safe here. We want to do, because he could definitely easily hit his Russian receiving line because they have 2 wide receivers that they're 1 and 2 out for this game. So Joe Mixon is definitely going to be an option to throw to. I actually took him at 104.5 a day or 2 ago. Has been bumped up 6 yards to 110.5. So this one has been bumped up 6 yards last time I checked. And the rushing line that was at 80.5 only went up 2 yards. I don't know how much that is of a difference to you guys, but to me, I feel like Joe Mixon's going to get the ball a lot more receiving than people think. So And obviously, we know what he can do is with his legs, but with his hands, he can catch the ball and he can go, especially with C.J. Stroud at the quarterback. So I really love this pick here, especially against the Jets, who just aren't good at defense. They let the Patriots and Jacoby Brissett throw all over them, throw for a game-winning touchdown. So they're not too confident coming into this game, but they are favored because Houston, like I said, if wide receiver 1 or 2 are out. I still don't think Jets will win. I am personally taking the Houston Texans money line, but we will see how this plays out. Going to be an interesting game here. Let's go to Outlier to see Joe Mixon's stats. Okay, so we want to pay attention to this season's stats because last season, he barely cashed this out. But this season, he is playing a lot better with the line that he has. That especially matters the most. And just like the team overall, Joe Mixon has cashed this out 4 of 5 games. That's an 80% hit rate. And he has actually been hitting this by a pretty big margin. It's not just barely hitting it. He's hitting it by a pretty big margin. And in this game, he got hurt midway through the game. Maybe like within the first quarter, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they do have rushing allowed for the Jets defense is, kind of mid to low tier at 17, but receiving yards allowed is 2. So CJ Stroud, that's why I don't really like that pick as much because they're depleted and Jets defense are number 2 in receiving yards. So I really like Joe Mixon on the ground as well, but he can slip and slide, get those extra yards from receiving. So I like the safer pick here just because you never know if he's going to have a blow-up play with the receiving yards as well. So solid pick here for Joe Mixon. Let's get right into our second pick of the day. We're going to go with Fairbairn. He has been cashing this out also very consistently. And I'm not taking it just because it has been so consistent. I'm taking it because they're going to have to be kicking field goals. It's going to be hard for them to score touchdowns. And Fairbairn kicking field goals, it's going to be pretty easy for him. He's cashed the last 4 games by a pretty big margin at 12 or 11. Versus Buffalo, he had 16. So that's basically double his line. So let's go to the scoring chart for kickers. Kicker fantasy score. Field goals from 0 to 39 is 3 points. 40 to 49 is 4 points. 50 plus is 5. And extra points is 1. So really we just need a couple field goals here. And actually Fairbairn is a goblin for this game at 1.5 as you guys see right here. So we're actually basically taking the same thing but fantasy score. If I'm being completely honest, we just have to get lucky with how many yards it is. That's really what matters. But as you guys can see, the last 5, 3, 3, 2, 3, even at 2, he still hit on his fantasy as well. So as long as they're driving down the field, crossing the 50 most parts of the game, which they will, I feel like with Joe Mixon there, Fairbairn will be kicking those field goals or kicking the extra points throughout the entire game. The Jets are just atrocious. They're dismantled, man. That last game really just did it for me. I was never betting on the Jets again because the money line I thought was so free. Patriots, Jacoby Brissett was playing, still freaking lost. So I don't trust the Jets right now. There's no hope in them right now. Houston should definitely win this game. So let's go over on Fairbairn and let's check his stats on Outlier. Okay, so in 2024, he actually has cashed this out 6 of 8 games at the 75% hit rate. He had 20 actually versus the Bears. 17 week 1. Had a poor outing versus Minnesota. Obviously, they got crushed. I don't see this happening versus the Jets. And then versus the Jaguars. So, really, really solid here. And then 50% last season. But the last 10, 70%. That's obviously, for me, I'm taking a 70% or more each and every time I see this on Outlier. So very, very solid hit rate here for Fairbairn, the kicker for Houston. Okay, let's get into the Jets picks for this slate. First one is going to be Garrett Wilson. And his receptions line, you got to be okay with the push because he is either going to push or hit, which he has been very consistently. So as you guys can see, he's pushed 3 out of 5 games. But you got to be okay with it. Like, you guys don't have to take this pick. But if he does cash it, man, it's a good cash because he's throwing to him 90% of the time. I'll show you guys his target percentage rate. You guys can determine if you guys want to pick this. But even with Devontae Adams in, he's still throwing it a lot to Garrett Wilson. And I feel like it's actually helping Garrett Wilson even more. He's getting more wide open because Devontae Adams is such a threat. So I love this pick here. And of course, they're going to have to throw the ball. I mean, the run game has been pretty slow at times. And yeah, they got to throw the ball a lot versus the Houston's defense. They're actually really, really solid defense. So let's check out Garrett Wilson's stats on Outlier. Okay, so looking here, looks like Allen Lazard is out for this game. He'll miss his second game in a row. So that will give a lot more opportunities for Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Mike Williams. So if you guys want to bet on those guys, very, very good there. And look at this, 13 receptions allowed versus Minnesota. So obviously a solid team there, but they did play in London. You never know how it is there. But he has been cashing this out 80% of the time, 8 of last 10 games. Let's go all of 2024. 88% hit rate at 4.5. So obviously these would push. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, like, you guys don't have to take it. If you guys are okay with the push, then take it. But I can definitely see this line jumping up to 5.5 before game time starts. So in 2023, he cashes out 65% of the time. That's still pretty solid for me to take. So it's just up to you guys if you guys like that or not. Let's go to our fourth and last pick of the day. We actually chose this last time the Jets played in prime time on a Thursday. And I love his pass attempts here. He has been solid besides the last game. Been cashing this out pretty easily, and this line hasn't jumped up or been bumped down at all. And 34 pass attempts versus the Houston defense, I can definitely see. I know that they're predicted to win, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Houston's going to take the lead, and very quickly, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw the ball. We're hoping for a lot of first down, second down, third down converted, and then, first down, second down, third down converted. We want a lot of these so that he can be able to throw as much as possible. And we also do not want to see the quarters chewed out very quickly by the Texans. We want Aaron Rodgers to have the ball as much as possible if we want to hit this line. And they do take a lot of chunk of the time of the game. But as long as they're converting first downs, we don't have to stress about this pick not hitting. But if they're not converting throughout the entire game, then obviously we're not going to hit because he's not going to have as many pass attempts. So they do usually convert, and then they usually lead to field goals that Greg Zuerlein misses. And he's actually cost them a lot of games this year, their kicker. So yeah, I like this pick here. Let's show his hit rate on Outlier. Okay, if you go to 2024, at the start of the season, he has been creeping up, like increasing each and every week up until this week versus Buffalo. But he still was hitting. And 28, like, they had the lead most of the game, so they didn't have to throw that much until the very end versus New England. New England crept back and won. So that was an easy pick to go under there, but the overs, man, they're hitting the over versus good teams. Like this one, he didn't play basically at all the fourth quarter because they got blown out. That score is totally not what it was. And then in this game, they played a very bad team, so he didn't have to throw. But in all these other games, I mean, I guess he still hit versus New England that game, but Denver, they were losing. This game, they were losing. Buffalo, they're losing all game. And obviously Pittsburgh, they're losing all game. So We just gotta hope that the Texans take the lead and they take the lead early. If they want Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball, they have been successful at throwing to Wilson, Adams, Conklin, and so forth. They do miss Lazard, but yeah, I definitely see this. Houston's, you know, got a really good defense. So I love this pick here. And yeah, you can also look at the pass completions. Uh, 2023, I guess, yeah, he didn't play. Last five, it's been about the same, honestly. So I don't know what you like better. I always love pass attempts better, but kind of just up to you. Um, the same exact percentage rate. So yeah, just up to you guys. We can look at his pass yards as well. Same percentage rate as well. So pass yards is the same, pass attempts is the same, and pass completions is the same at 63%. So take what you like, whatever you're more confident in of Aaron Rodgers. If he has a good game, he's going to hit the over on any of those three categories. If it's a bad game, he's not going to hit in any of those categories. So, yeah, that's just how it goes. But if I had to say my most confident picks, I would pair these two up with a different combo. If you guys don't like the Jets picks, because I am way more confident in these Houston picks than these Jet picks. Unless this was at 4.5, I would definitely take Garrett Wilson. But yeah, so if you guys like it, definitely tail. I got a slip. I'm going to show you right now. So here is my slip. It is $15 to play 127.5. So really hoping this cashes here. I will be watching ahead with you guys. If you guys want to support me and the channel, go to my YouTube channel, click on the links, and as you can see, I got my Instagram, Discord, and Outlier. So for Outlier, the app that I've been showing, you download it on your phone. It's a 7-day free trial and $20 monthly after that. This is my specific link. No code needed. And if you sign up through this link, it will support me because I'm partnered with them. And it is literally the best betting tool out there. I've tried Props Made Easy. I've tried all these, DFS sites. And this is the best one by far. I've cashed out way more money than all these other sites. So they literally have all the information together, all in one place. So I love this here. And then Discord, we've been cashing out a ton on NBA, but obviously football is more of a consistent hit than basketball or any other sport, in my opinion. So that's why I am posting a lot more football than basketball, but do expect college football video to be uploaded by Friday night, as the Saturday slate is on, and then expect a Sunday NFL video by Saturday night. So yeah, just make sure to put on those notifications, get ready for those videos, and let's cash out for Thursday Night Football. I'm very confident in these picks. I would never post if I wasn't confident in them. We have been, hot and cold, but more hot than cold throughout all these video picks. So I have been winning, guys, tons and tons of money. And yeah, it's just been a fun ride. And I really do appreciate all you guys' support. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.